Way back when, in the blissfully naive days of LSD, a bad trip was the scariest thing you could imagine. What if I have a bad trip? Then what am I going to do? And then, much later on, when I started working with ayahuasca, a bad trip became at least part of probably the majority of ceremonies I've ever done. And that taught me a really powerful lesson about healing, about what a bad trip is, and about the bad trip, the low-grade bad trip that is a lot of people's lives. The thing is with psychedelics, it opens up your brain, your neural pathways, in unexpected ways. And especially with ayahuasca, there seems to be an intelligence behind the medicine, and that's why it's referred to as a medicine. And basically what it's doing is finding things within you that don't need to be there. And when it finds these things, it goes to work. Now, it could be your fear. It could be your defensiveness, your insecurity. It could be all kinds of things. And it could be the alcohol you drank last night. It could be the toxins in your body. And that's one thing that people don't understand of why it's so important to cleanse before doing ayahuasca. That's kind of a side note, but basically you want the ayahuasca to clear your anxiety instead of clearing the alcohol damage to your liver from 2 nights ago or, God forbid, last night. You want the ayahuasca to be able to work on something more profound than something you could have just refrained putting into your body a couple days before the ceremony. But that's a side note. Anyway, the thing is, we spend our whole lives trying not to feel certain feelings. And we have a lot of ways to hide those feelings from ourselves. And then we do a hallucinogen, and especially if that hallucinogen is ayahuasca, it goes around the neural pathway that we've set up, the neural pathway of avoidance. And it opens everything up, and now you can see right what's there. And basically, it's clearing the energy of this thing. But here's what makes it a bad trip. If you have a negative energy stuck in you, the reason that it probably got stuck in there was because you felt like you needed it to protect yourself from something else. So, for example, if I don't have anxiety, I won't be careful, and bad things will happen to me. So when the ayahuasca goes in and starts ripping out your anxiety, you feel on a kind of primal fear level like the ayahuasca is taking away the thing that's keeping you safe. And so you feel that you're in danger. You might feel like you're going to die, like you're going to get hurt. bad things are going to happen. And that becomes the bad trip. And then you add the psychedelic dimension onto what the hell's happening to me, and you feel like you're going crazy or something. And hence the bad trip. Okay. So how do you deal with this bad trip? Number one, you realize that it's not really a bad trip. It's not really that bad. It's just the medicine clearing something out. If you go get a waxing, you're going to have pain. If you get a shot, there's going to be some pain. But you don't freak out on that, number one, because you're probably not tripping. And number two, because you expect it. You know what's going to happen. And so there are a lot of things that might hurt a little bit, but you know that's the deal. But with this, even when you know, it's like you're in such an unprecedented state that everything's getting triggered. So what it does, and I'll probably do another video on it, is it creates like a hurricane. Imagine a hurricane. And in the center of the hurricane, there's the eye of the hurricane, where it's sunny weather, there's no wind, beautiful, perfect. But it's like if you move a couple inches that way, you get sucked into the whole hurricane. So the good thing about psychedelics, when you do it over an extended period of time, which I'm not recommending to anybody. I'm not recommending anybody do it at all. I'm just talking to people who are curious or people who are doing it no matter what I say. But when you do the psychedelics, it gives you an opportunity to learn how to sit in the eye of the hurricane and let the ayahuasca or other psychedelic do its work. So you can imagine that being the actual hurricane. You can sit in the center. You can sit in the nice weather and just let it happen. Just let your body be purged, let your emotions be purged, and it doesn't have to be a bad trip. The bad trip happens when you think something's going wrong, when you go against it, when you think, I want this to stop. Why won't it stop? When you try to impose your ego, like, what does this mean? There are a million ways to have a bad trip. The antidote is be in the center. Let the storm rage around you. And when you do that, it is an amazing upgrade to your life, to your emotional existence, to your resilience. It's really kind of an inner kung fu that is unprecedented. So that's what I have to say about bad trips and ayahuasca. Thank you.